Why are places and people so different? Because society is shaped by
history, geography, institutions, resources, and choices. Class, your task is to observe and document the changes in our locality. Let's explore.
Sir, how has transport and housing changed here over the years?
Oh, we used to walk on dirt roads. Now we have buses and cars. Homes are bigger and everyone has a phone.
Understanding society through time and traditions. Society keeps changing. Society has not always been as it is today. Over thousands of years, it has changed greatly. Early human communities depended directly on nature for survival. Explanation. To understand today's society, we must look at how it grew over time. The starting point. Early humans lived directly off nature, hunting, gathering, fully dependent on their surroundings. From villages to cities. With time, people learned to grow crops, domesticate animals, build settlements, develop tools, exchange goods, and organize governance. Villages developed into towns, and towns grew into cities. New ideas, inventions, and cultural exchanges gradually transformed ways of life. Explanation. This traces humanity's journey: farming and taming animals, permanent settlements, tools and trade, governance, villages, towns, cities. Each step shows society becoming more organized and complex. India's spirit of inquiry. This spirit of inquiry has deep roots in India's knowledge traditions. Early thinkers valued discussion, questioning, and logical reasoning. Knowledge was explored through observation, reflection, and dialogue. Explanation. The chapter highlights that asking questions is not new to India. Ancient thinkers already used discussion, reasoning, and dialogue to understand the world. Modern social science continues this old tradition of inquiry. The Pañchamahābhūtas. The concept of the Pañchamahābhūtas, the 5 great elements, earth, prithvi, water, apa, fire, agni, air, vayu, and space, akasha, describes the natural world as an interconnected system in which human life is embedded. It helps explain how the environment influences settlement patterns, occupations, architecture, food habits, and health. Explanation. This Indian idea of the 5 great elements is an early way of seeing nature as one connected system with humans inside it, not separate from it. The chapter uses this idea to show that Indian knowledge traditions understood the close relationship between human life and the environment. Where people live, what occupations they follow, what food habits they develop, and even how they build houses are influenced by natural conditions. Exam focus. Remember the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. Also remember the main idea: the environment and human life are interconnected.
From the very beginning, our sages saw nature not as a resource, but as our very own body. Earth, water, fire, air, and space. 5 elements that weave the very fabric of our society.
Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Similarly, the idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is one family, expresses the interconnectedness of human societies across regions and cultures. This sense of interdependence lies at the core of what social science studies in global interactions. Explanation. This famous phrase means the whole world is one family. It captures the idea that societies everywhere are connected and depend on each other, the same idea social science studies today as global relationships and interdependence.
The world is one family.
Early thought on governance. Early Indian reflections linked political authority with public welfare and ethical responsibility. The Arthashastra, attributed to Kautilya, composed about 2,300 years ago, examined administration, economic management, taxation, and the duties of rulers toward their people. Explanation. Long before modern academic subjects existed, India had systematic thinking about governance and economy. The Arthashastra discussed how administration should work, how taxes should be collected, how the economy should be managed, and what duties rulers had toward the people. This shows that politics was not seen only as power, it was linked with responsibility and public welfare. Exam focus. Arthashastra, Kautilya, administration, economy, taxation, duties of rulers, public welfare. This can appear as a short answer question. A long tradition of understanding. These traditions show that the effort to understand society through observation, reasoning, and reflection has a long history. Modern social science continues this legacy with new tools and methods to study how societies function and change over time. Explanation. The lesson connects past and present. Trying to understand society is an ancient effort, and today's social science is the continuation of it, just with newer tools and methods. How social scientists work. To understand the present, social scientists observe people's lives, conduct interviews and surveys, examine documents, and compare different times and places. By gathering information from many sources, they build explanations supported by evidence, explaining both what endures and what changes. Explanation. This lists the methods of a social scientist: observe, interview, survey, study documents, and compare times and places. The goal is always evidence-based explanation of what stays the same and what changes in society.
Society is too complex for one subject alone.
Social science as a study of disciplines. No single subject can explain society. Human society is complex, and no single field of study can fully explain it. Social science is therefore not a single subject, but a group of related disciplines, each focusing on a different aspect of human life. Explanation. Society is too complex for one viewpoint, so social science is really a team of subjects, disciplines, each looking at a different side of human life, together giving the full picture. The drought example. Think of a drought. It affects crops, environment, farmers' incomes, economy, government relief measures, politics, migration to cities, society, and traditional ways of coping with scarcity, culture. To understand it, we must look from many perspectives at once. Explanation. One event, a drought, touches 5 areas: environment, economy, politics, society, and culture. This single example proves why we need many disciplines together to truly understand any real-world problem. The 4 core disciplines. In grades 9 through 10, social science draws mainly from 4 core disciplines: geography, history, political science, and economics, together giving a comprehensive understanding of society. Explanation. These are the 4 pillars you will study for the next 2 years. Memorize them: geography, history, political science, economics. Each gives one perspective. Together, they give a complete view. The wider family. Other disciplines, sociology, philosophy, anthropology, and psychology, also belong to the broader social science family. They explore social relationships, ethical reasoning, and human behavior, and will be developed further in higher grades. Explanation. Beyond the main 4, social science has a wider family: sociology, philosophy, anthropology, and psychology. You'll meet them more in higher classes, but it helps to know they exist. Snapshot. Geography. Geography studies the Earth, its environments, and the relationships between people and their surroundings. Explanation. Quick one-line idea of geography. It is about the Earth and how people relate to their surroundings, place, environment, and the link between the two. Snapshot. History. History examines the human past and helps us understand how societies change over time. Explanation. One-line idea of history. It studies the human past to understand how and why societies change over time. Snapshot. Political science. Political science analyzes systems of governance, power, and the rights and responsibilities of citizens. Explanation. One-line idea of political science. It studies government, power, and citizens' rights and duties, how we are governed and how decisions are made. Snapshot. Economics. Economics explores how societies produce, distribute, and utilize resources to meet their needs. Explanation. One-line idea of economics. It studies how society produces, distributes, and uses resources to meet people's needs and wants. Different questions, one whole. Each discipline asks different questions, yet all are interconnected. Together, they give a holistic understanding of society. Now let us explore each one in detail. Explanation. The disciplines ask different questions but are connected. Put together, they give a holistic, complete, all-round understanding, which is why we study them as a group, not in isolation.
Society is too complex for one subject alone. The world is one family. Arthashastra.